In this video, we'll walk you through the process of changing the oil in both the rear differential and the transfer case on a Mazda CX-5. This is a straightforward maintenance job that can be done at home with a handful of basic tools. At the end of the video, I've included a full summary of the tools and parts you'll need, and in the description below, you can find links to everything used in this job. Let's start by raising the vehicle so we can work safely underneath it. Begin by lifting the front of the car. Position your hydraulic jack under the front subframe. You can identify this subframe by the large bolt in the center of the car just behind the plastic underbody covers. Once the car is high enough, place jack stands on both sides and slowly lower the vehicle onto them. Next, lift the rear of the car by positioning the jack under the rear differential. This differential has a downward extension with a flat bottom that's specifically designed as a lifting point. Once the rear is high enough, place jack stands on both sides of the car at the designated points and carefully lower the vehicle onto them. Make sure the car is sitting level on the jack stands. This is important because the vehicle needs to be level in order to fill both the differential and the transfer case to the correct fluid level. Now that we can work comfortably under the car, we'll start with the rear differential. On the back side of the differential, you'll see both the fill plug and the drain plug. Always loosen the fill plug first. This ensures that you'll be able to refill the differential after draining the oil. To remove the fill plug, use a 23mm closed-end wrench. The space here is too tight to fit a socket. Next, place some cardboard under the rear of the car to catch any spills, and position your oil drain pan under the differential. Remove the drain plug using a 24mm socket and allow the oil to fully drain out. The drain plug has a magnetic tip. Clean off any metal particles that are stuck to the magnet. Once the oil has finished draining, remove the old crush washers from both the drain plug and the fill plug. Make sure the old washers are not stuck to the differential housing. Then install new metal washers on both plugs. Reinstall the drain plug with the new washer into the differential and torque it to 45 Newton meters or 33 foot-pounds. Now we can refill the differential with Mazda SG-1 gear oil. You'll need a small hand pump to pump the oil into the housing. You can find a link to this pump in the description below. Insert the hose from your pump into the fill hole and slowly pump oil into the differential until it just begins to seep back out. Mazda specifies approximately 0.48 quarts of gear oil, so almost half a bottle. Once the fluid starts dripping out, remove the pump and reinstall the fill plug with its new washer. Because of the tight space, you won't be able to torque this plug to spec, so tighten it by hand with the wrench. Clean off any oil residue on the differential and the exhaust using brake cleaner. And then we'll move on to the front. The procedure there is very similar to the rear differential. On the front of the car, remove the plastic underbody panel beneath the engine. This panel is held in place by 6 plastic clips and 7 bolts. Use a trim clip removal tool or a flathead screwdriver to pop out the clips, and a 10mm socket to remove the bolts. Once everything is loose, set the panel aside. With the panel removed, you'll have a clear view of the transfer case, which sits between the engine and the subframe where we lifted the car earlier. Place your cardboard and drain pan underneath the transfer case. Start by removing the fill plug with a 23mm socket. Next, remove the drain plug on the bottom of the transfer case with a 24mm socket and allow the oil to fully drain. Clean any metal particles from the magnet on the drain plug with some brake cleaner. Make sure the old washer has been removed and isn't stuck to the housing. and then reinstall the drain plug with a new metal crush washer. Torque the drain plug to 45 Newton meters or 33 foot-pounds. And we are ready to fill the transfer case. Connect the pump to the bottle of oil and slowly pump the oil into the transfer case until it starts to drip out of the fill opening. The transfer case takes the same amount of oil as the rear differential, about 0.48 quarts of gear oil. Once the transfer case is full, make sure the old washer is removed and reinstall the fill plug with a new washer. Finally, torque the fill plug to 45 Newton meters or 33 foot-pounds. Clean off any oil residue on the transfer case, then reinstall the underbody panel. After that, you can carefully lower the car back onto the ground. Now, for a quick overview of the tools and parts used in this job, you'll need a hydraulic jack and jack stands, a ratchet with 23mm and 24mm sockets, a 23mm closed-end wrench for the rear differential fill plug, a torque wrench set to 45 Newton meters or 33 foot-pounds, a trim removal tool or flathead screwdriver, a 10mm socket, an oil drain pan, and a small fluid pump. We also used brake cleaner and 4 new metal crush washers. And finally, about 1 quart of Mazda SG-1 hypoid gear oil. 1 bottle is usually enough since each unit takes about 0.48 quarts. But having a second bottle is a good idea in case of spills. Links to all of these tools and parts can be found in the description below. If this video was helpful, consider liking it and subscribing for more DIY maintenance guides. Thanks for watching.